My husband hands me divorce papers across our dining table. He says I can only speak through his lawyer. So I schedule the meeting, and when I arrive, his lawyer's face goes white. My husband hands me divorce papers across our dining table. He says I can only speak through his lawyer. So I schedule the meeting, and when I arrive, his lawyer's face goes white. Because when he asks which attorney is representing me, I smile. And I say 5 words that drain the color from his skin. I am my own lawyer. Let me back up. My name is Elena Cartwright. I'm 31 years old. And 6 months ago, I thought I had everything figured out. A beautiful home in the suburbs. A marriage I believed was solid. And a career I'd worked my entire adult life to build. I'm a family law attorney, specializing in divorce cases. The irony isn't lost on me now. For 8 years, I've sat across from crying spouses. I've dissected prenuptial agreements. I've fought for custody arrangements and asset divisions. I've seen every trick, every lie, every betrayal. But somehow, I never saw my own coming. It starts on a Tuesday evening in March. I come home late from the office. A difficult case, a woman whose husband hid offshore accounts for 3 years. I'm exhausted. My heels click against the hardwood as I enter. The house is dark. Damien's car is in the driveway, but no lights are on. I call his name. Nothing. Then I see him. Sitting in the dining room. One lamp illuminates his face. Papers spread across the table in front of him. Hey, I say, setting my bag down. Why are you sitting in the dark? He doesn't smile. He doesn't stand. He just slides a manila folder across the table toward me. We need to talk. 4 words that change everything. I sit down slowly. My pulse quickens, but my legal training kicks in. Stay calm. Assess the situation. I open the folder. Petition for dissolution of marriage. The words blur for a moment. I blink. Read them again. My name, his name, our case number. You're divorcing me, I say. It's not a question. And yes. His voice is flat. Cold. Like he's ordering coffee, not ending 8 years of marriage. Why, I manage. He leans back in his chair. We've grown apart, Elena. You know it, I know it. Grown apart. My voice cracks. I hate that it does. Damien, we just celebrated our anniversary 2 months ago. We went to that. That was for show, he interrupts. Let's not pretend. The air feels thick. I can smell his cologne, the expensive one I bought him for Christmas. Is there someone else? I ask. Standard question. I've asked it 1,000 times in depositions. But asking it about my own marriage makes my stomach turn. He hesitates. Just 1 second. But I catch it. That's not relevant, he says. Lawyers speak for yes. Who is she? Elena's. Who is she? He sighs. Like I'm inconveniencing him. Her name is Ashley. She's a paralegal at Hendricks and Moore. The firm 3 blocks from mine. 24 years old. I've seen her at legal conferences. Blonde, bubbly, everything I'm apparently not. How long, I whisper. 6 month. 6 month. While I was working late. While I was fighting for other people's marriages. While I was sleeping next to him every night. I want this to be amicable, Damien continues. His tone shifts, becomes almost businesslike. I've hired Bradley Morrison to represent me. You know him, right? Good guy. We've already drafted a fair settlement. Bradley Morrison. Yes, I know him. A mediocre attorney who takes softball cases. He's representing Damien because Damien thinks this will be easy. You can only communicate through Bradley moving forward, Damien says. He stands, straightens his shirt. I'll be staying at the Marriott downtown for now. You can have the house until we figure things out. He picks up a duffel bag I hadn't noticed by the door. Wait, I say. But he's already walking out. The front door closes. His car starts. And just like that, I'm alone. I don't cry. Not yet. I sit at that table for 2 hours, reading every page of the petition, every clause of the proposed settlement, and slowly something shifts inside me. The hurt hardens, becomes something else, something focused, because I notice something. Damien's proposed settlement is laughable. He wants to split our assets 50-50. Keep his retirement account intact. Give me the house, but only because it has a mortgage. And he wants to waive alimony entirely. I almost laugh. Almost. Because what Damien has forgotten, what he never really understood, is that I'm not just his wife. I'm a lawyer. One of the best family law attorneys in the state. And 5 years ago, before we got married, I did something very strategic. I drafted our prenuptial agreement myself. Flashback 5 years earlier. Damien and I are engaged. We're at a coffee shop downtown, planning the wedding. He's in commercial real estate, doing well, but not exceptionally. I'm 2 years into my practice, building my reputation. We should probably do a prenup, I say casually. He looks up from his latte. Really, you think we need that? I think it's smart, I tell him. We're both professionals, we both have assets. He smirks. Babe, you're the one who knows about this stuff. If you think it's important, sure. You'll want your own lawyer to review it, I add. Standard advice. Always standard advice. Nah, he waves it off. I trust you, just make it fair. Famous last words. So I draft it myself. And I make it ironclad. The terms are simple. Any assets acquired during the marriage remain with the person whose income purchased them. Retirement accounts stay separate. Real estate acquired before marriage stays with the original owner. And here's the kicker, the clause Damien never paid attention to. In the event of infidelity proven by the offending party, that party forfeits all claims to joint assets and pays the other party's legal fees in full. I showed it to him. He skimmed it, signed it. Never read the fine print. Present day. I sit in my home office. The prenup is in my filing cabinet. I pull it out. Read it for the 10th time tonight. Damien committed adultery. He admitted it outright. And according to our prenuptial agreement, he forfeits everything. The house, which I purchased before marriage, stays mine. The savings account we built together, mostly from my income, stays mine. His retirement account, that stays his. But he gets nothing else. And he'll pay my legal fees. A slow smile spreads across my face. Damien hired Bradley Morrison because he thinks I'll hire someone too. He thinks I'll be emotional, irrational, that I'll pay someone else to fight for me while I fall apart. He has no idea. The next morning, I call Bradley Morrison's office. His secretary answers. Morrison and Associates, how may I help you? Hi, this is Elena Cartwright. I'm calling to schedule a consultation regarding the Cartwright divorce case. Oh yes, Mrs. Cartwright. Mr. Morrison mentioned you'd be calling. When would you like to come in? Tomorrow afternoon works for me. Perfect, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. I hang up. And I start preparing. That night I barely sleep. Not because I'm heartbroken, though I am. But because I'm strategizing. I pull every file I have on Bradley Morrison's previous cases. Public record. Easy to access. He's sloppy, misses deadlines, settles too quickly. He's the kind of lawyer you hire when you think the case will be easy. Damien made a mistake. A big one. The next day, I dress carefully. Navy blue suit. Simple jewelry. Hair pulled back. I look professional. Competent. Untouchable. I drive to Morrison and Associates. The office is in a dated building downtown. Beige walls. Faded carpet. A receptionist who looks bored. Elena Cartwright for Bradley Morrison, I say. She nods. Picks up the phone. A moment later, a man in his 50s emerges. Thinning hair. And cheap suit. He extends his hand. Mrs. Cartwright, Bradley Morrison, please come back. I follow him to a small conference room. He sits on one side of the table. Gestures for me to sit on the other. So, he says, pulling out a file, I assume you've had a chance to review the petition. I have. Great, and have you retained counsel yet? I know this is all very fresh. I meet his eyes. I'm representing myself. He blinks. I'm sorry. I'm a family law attorney, Mr. Morrison. I'll be representing myself in this matter. For a moment, he just stares. Then he clears his throat. Oh, well, that's unusual. Is it? I tilt my head. I'm licensed to practice. I'm familiar with the law. Why would I pay someone to do what I'm trained to do? His face shifts. Confusion becomes unease. I see. He shuffles papers. Well, in that case, let's discuss the settlement terms. My client is hoping for an amicable resolution. I've read the proposed settlement, I interrupt. It's inadequate. Inadequate? And yes. I pull my own folder from my bag. Inside is a copy of our prenuptial agreement. I slide it across the table. I'm sure your client shared this with you. Bradley picks it up. Scans the first page. Then the second. His face goes pale. This is your prenup. And yes, he reads the infidelity clause. Once, twice. Your client admitted to an extramarital affair, I say calmly. That triggers the infidelity clause, which means he forfeits all claims to joint assets. Bradley's hand shakes slightly. Now, Mrs. Cartwright. Ms. Cartwright, I correct, or Attorney Cartwright if you prefer. He swallows hard. Ms. Cartwright, I'm sure we can negotiate. There's nothing to negotiate, I say. The prenup is binding. It was reviewed, signed, and notarized. Your client forfeited his rights when he committed adultery. Bradley sets the prenup down. He's not going to agree to this. He doesn't have a choice. I lean forward. But let's talk about what I'm willing to offer, because despite everything, I'm not cruel. I pull out a second document. My counteroffer. He can keep his retirement account. I want the house, which I purchased before marriage. I want our joint savings, which is primarily my income, and he'll pay my legal fees. Bradley scans the document. This leaves him with almost nothing. It leaves him with what he's entitled to under the prenup, which is almost nothing. I stand. You have 48 hours to advise your client to accept these terms. Otherwise, I'll file a motion to enforce the prenup, and this will become very public. I'm sure his employer would be interested to know he committed adultery with a subordinate employee. Bradley's eyes widen. Ashley is a paralegal. That's a power dynamic issue. A potential HR nightmare. You're bluffing. Am I? I smile. I'm a divorce attorney, Mr. Morrison. I don't bluff, I win. So I pick up my bag. 48 hours. And I walk out. I sit in my car afterward. My hands are shaking. Not from fear. From adrenaline. From power. I just faced down my husband's lawyer. And I destroyed him. For the first time since Damien walked out, I feel something other than hurt. I feel strong. That night, Damien calls. I don't answer. He calls again. Then again. Finally, he texts, "We need to talk, call me." I don't respond. 2 hours later, another text. "Bradley told me what you said. You're being unreasonable." I almost laugh. Unreasonable. He cheated. He walked out. He tried to lowball me in the settlement. And I'm unreasonable. I text back, "All communication goes through your attorney. Those were your rules." He doesn't respond. The next morning, I go to work. My assistant, Jamie, greets me with coffee. "You okay?" she asks gently. Word spreads fast in legal circles. "I'm fine," I say. And I mean it. I throw myself into my cases. A woman whose husband hid assets. A father fighting for custody. A couple splitting amicably after 20 years. Each case distracts me. Reminds me that I'm good at this. That I help people navigate their worst moments. And that I can navigate my own. 47 hours after my meeting with Bradley, I receive an email. It's from his office. Subject line, "Acceptance of terms." I open it. Attached is a signed agreement. Damien accepted my counteroffer. Every single term. I sit back in my chair. It's done. Not the divorce that'll take months to finalize. But the fight. The fear that he'd drag this out. The worry that he'd somehow find a loophole. It's over. He lost. I won. And for the first time in weeks, I breathe. Flashback 10 years earlier. I'm in my third year of law school. Exhausted. Drowning in case law and legal briefs. I'm sitting in my professor's office hours, Professor Janet Reeves, a woman in her 60s who practiced family law for 30 years before teaching. "Why family law?" she asks me. I hesitate. "Because I want to help people when they're at their lowest." She nods. "Good answer, but let me tell you something, Elena. Family law isn't just about helping people. It's about teaching people to value themselves, to know their worth. Because when someone betrays you, when they break your trust, it's easy to forget what you deserve." She leans forward. The best lawyers in this field don't just win cases. They help their clients remember who they are, and they never let anyone take that away. Her words stayed with me. Through every case. Every client. Every victory and loss. But I never thought I'd need to apply them to myself. Present day. 2 months pass. The divorce is progressing smoothly. All the assets are divided according to the prenup. Damien moves in with Ashley. I hear through mutual friends that he's struggling financially. His real estate business took a hit during COVID. He was counting on my income to keep him afloat. Now he has nothing. I should feel vindicated. And part of me does. But another part feels empty. Not because I miss him. I don't. But because I spent 8 years building a life with someone who never really saw me. Who never valued what I brought to the table. Until it was gone. One Saturday morning, I'm having coffee at my kitchen table. The house is quiet. Peaceful. The mortgage is paid off. I used part of the settlement savings. It's fully mine now. My sanctuary. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. I open it. "Elena, it's Ashley. Can we talk?" I stare at the message. Part of me wants to ignore it. But curiosity wins. I type back, "About what?" 3 dots appear. Then, about Damien, and everything that happened. I'm sorry, I didn't know the full story. I almost laugh. Didn't know the full story. She knew he was married. That's enough story. But something makes me respond. Okay, coffee tomorrow at Redwood Cafe, 10 a.m. Thank you. I set the phone down. Wonder what she could possibly have to say. The next morning, I arrive at Redwood Cafe. Ashley is already there, sitting in a corner booth. She looks younger than I remember. Nervous, I slide into the seat across from her. Hi, she says quietly. Hi. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Then she says, I know you have no reason to listen to me, but I needed to apologize face to face. I'm okay. She takes a breath. Damien told me you two were separated, that the marriage was over, just not legally yet. I believed him. I know that sounds naive, but I did. I study her face. She's sincere. Whether that excuses anything, I don't know. He lied to me too, she continues, about a lot of things, about his finances, about his job, about everything. I lean back. What happened? She laughs bitterly. We moved in together, and within a month I realized he's broke. He can't pay rent. He borrowed money from me, and when I asked him about it, he said the divorce settlement ruined him, that you took everything. Of course he did. He tried to make me the villain, I say. Yes, but then I did some digging. I looked up the case, found the prenup filing, saw the infidelity clause. She meets my eyes. You didn't ruin him, he ruined himself. I nod slowly. Then now, I ask. Now I broke up with him, kicked him out. He's staying with a friend, I think. She looks down at her coffee. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I wanted you to know the truth, and that I'm sorry. I sit with her words. I could be cruel. Tell her she's young and stupid. That she should have known better. But what's the point? She's a casualty of Damien's selfishness too. I appreciate you telling me, I say finally, and for what it's worth, I hope you learned something from this. She nods. I did. We sit in silence for another moment. Then I stand. Take care of yourself, Ashley. You too. And I walk out. That encounter stays with me for days. Not because I forgive her, I'm not sure I do. But because it confirms something I already knew. Damien didn't leave me for her. He left because he's selfish. Because he wanted something easy. Something that didn't challenge him. And when that fell apart, he had no one to blame but himself. 3 months after the divorce is finalized, I'm sitting in a coffee shop. Working on a case. A woman walks up to my table. Mid-40s. Professional attire. Excuse me, she says. Are you Elena Cartwright? I am. She smiles. I'm Rebecca Haynes. I saw you speak at the Women in Law conference last year. You talked about navigating divorce as a professional woman. I remember that talk. It changed my life, she says. I was in a bad marriage. Your words gave me the courage to leave. I just wanted to thank you. My throat tightens. Thank you for telling me that. She nods. You're an inspiration. She walks away. And I sit there stunned. Because for months, I've felt like a failure. Like I couldn't save my own marriage, so how could I help anyone else? But maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is that I survived. That I fought for myself when no one else would. And that matters. Flashback 7 years earlier. Damien and I are on our honeymoon in Italy. We're walking through the streets of Florence. The sun is setting. Everything feels perfect. I'm so lucky, he says, pulling me close. Why? Because I married someone brilliant, someone successful, someone who makes me better. I smile. Lean into him. I'm lucky too. But looking back now, I wonder if he meant it. Or if he loved the idea of me more than the reality. Present day. 6 months post-divorce. I'm in my office. Jamie knocks on the door. Hey, there's someone here to see you, says it's personal. I frown. Who? He wouldn't say, but he looks nervous. Curiosity wins again. Send him in. A moment later, Damien walks through the door. He looks rough, thinner, tired, older. Hi, he says. Hi. I don't stand. Don't offer him a seat. What do you want, Damien? He shifts his weight. I wanted to apologize. I almost laugh. For what exactly? For everything, for how I treated you, for the affair, for underestimating you. I lean back in my chair. I'm okay. I made a mistake, he continues. A huge mistake, and I'm paying for it now. Is that what this is? I ask. You're struggling, so now you want to make amends. He winces. It's not like that. Then what is it like? He sighs. I lost everything, Elena. My job, my relationship, my savings. And I realized the only thing I ever had that mattered was you. I stand. You didn't lose me, Damien. You threw me away. And now that you're facing the consequences, you want me to what? Feel sorry for you. No, I don't care, I interrupt. I spent 8 years caring, and you rewarded that by cheating on me and trying to screw me over in the divorce. So whatever closure you're looking for, you're not getting it from me. His face crumbles. Elena, get out. He stares at me. Then slowly, he turns and walks out. The door closes, and I feel nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just peace. That night, I pour myself a glass of wine. Sit on my back porch. The stars are out. The air is cool. I think about everything that's happened. The betrayal. The hurt. The fight. The victory. And I realize something. I didn't just win the divorce. I won myself back. For years, I defined myself by my marriage. By being a good wife. By making Damien happy. But in doing that, I lost sight of who I was. A brilliant attorney. A strong woman. Someone who doesn't need validation from anyone. And now, sitting here alone, I feel more whole than I have in years. Question for you: if someone you loved betrayed you, would you forgive them if they came back broken and asking for another chance? Or would you protect your peace? Tell me in the comments. A month later, I'm invited to speak at a legal conference. The topic: protecting yourself in divorce, lessons from the front lines. I almost decline. But then I think about Rebecca Haynes. About how my words helped her. And I accept. The day of the conference, I stand in front of 200 attorneys. I tell my story. Not all of it, not the personal details. But the legal lessons. The importance of prenups. The dangers of underestimating your opponent. The power of knowing your worth. When I finish, the room erupts in applause. Afterward, dozens of people approach me. Thanking me. Asking for advice. Sharing their own stories. And I realize this is my purpose. Not just winning cases, but empowering people to fight for themselves. 1 year post-divorce. I'm standing in my living room. The house is redecorated. New furniture. New paint. New energy. It's not the house I shared with Damien anymore. It's mine. Fully, completely mine. I've started dating again, nothing serious yet. But I'm open to it. I've built my practice into one of the most respected family law firms in the state. I've hired 2 junior attorneys. We're making a difference. And I'm happy. Not the performative happiness I had with Damien, but real, deep, authentic happiness. The kind that comes from knowing exactly who you are. And never compromising that for anyone. Final flashback: my mother 10 years ago. I'm visiting home for the holidays. She's making tea in her kitchen. Mom, I ask, how do you know if someone really loves you? She looks at me thoughtfully. Love isn't about grand gestures, sweetheart. It's about respect. It's about someone seeing your worth and never asking you to diminish it. She hands me a cup. And if someone ever makes you feel small, they don't love you, they love what you do for them. At the time, I nodded. But I didn't really understand. Now I do. Present day. I'm at my desk. A new client walks in. She's in her 30s. Crying. Her husband wants a divorce. He's hired a lawyer who's trying to intimidate her. She feels powerless. I hand her a tissue. Tell me everything, I say. And as she talks, I see myself. 1 year ago. Broken. Scared. But surviving. Here's what we're going to do, I tell her. We're going to fight, and we're going to win, because you deserve better than someone who treats you like this. Her eyes light up. Hope. And I know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Damien texted me again last week, asking if we could talk. I didn't respond. Not because I'm angry anymore, but because I have nothing to say to him. He's part of my past. A lesson learned. A chapter closed. And I'm focused on the future. My future. The one I built from scratch. The one no one can take away. If there's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's this. Never let anyone make you feel less than you are. Never compromise your worth for someone else's comfort. And never, ever underestimate the power of knowing your own value. Because when you know your worth, no one can take it from you. Not your husband. Not his lawyer. Not anyone's. So here's my advice. If you're going through something similar, a betrayal, a divorce, a moment where someone tried to make you small, remember this. You are stronger than you think. You are capable of more than you know. And you deserve to be valued. Not just by others, but by yourself. My husband told me he wanted a divorce. He told me to only speak through his lawyer. So I did. And when that lawyer asked me who was representing me, I said 5 words that changed everything. I am my own lawyer. That was the moment I took my power back. And I've never let it go. Have you ever had to stand up for yourself when someone underestimated you? Tell me your story in the comments. And if you believe in fighting for what you deserve, subscribe for more stories like this.